What's up guys, it's me Charlie and I'm here to give a review on the upcoming Spotlight Week featuring Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross, Nebula and Blink. Now let me say straight off the bat, I think this week is I have 80% confidence that this is a absolutely skip week. Alright, and without much further ado, let's go into the reasons why. Now we first talk about Nebula. Nebula is not good in this meta. Now, I wouldn't say Nebula is bad, okay, but I'm just saying that she's no longer able to have the same ability to detect play as she used to have. The reason is very simple. The game is moving into a meta, into an environment whereby people play multiple cards. Okay, people are playing 2 cores, 3 cores to fill the board to play the game. Okay, so when your opponents are able to play multiple cards, they are able to play into Nebula's lane much more easily, which means that Nebula's ability to impact the game by detecting where cards are played is actually much lower. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Nebula is a Series 4 card, so no Series 4 card should decide if you are going to open for a week. Right, because in Series 4 cards you can easily spend 3000 tokens to acquire any Series 4 cards. Okay, so yeah, Nebula is not a good card at the moment. Her ability to force your opponent into making certain plays are, I wouldn't say no longer there, but much lower. People don't really care. Okay, so yeah, I don't think Nebula is good. Now we move to the second card, which is second returning spotlight catch, which is Blink. Blink is very boring. Blink decks are very boring. That's a fact. And another fact is that boring decks do not see sustained play, no matter how good they are. The best example is Thaddues decks. Thaddues decks absolutely ruled the meta when it was his season, and then suddenly they disappeared the next season, and they came back because of Ares. And now that we're in a new season, Thaddues decks basically disappeared again. So yeah, and Blink decks aren't even as good as Thaddues decks. So yeah, that's just some basic thoughts that you should have. Right, and it is what it is. Blink decks are boring. Blink decks are okay. They are good. They are decently strong, but they are just boring to play. So I don't think it's a deck. I don't think it's something that you want to get. The one strongest reason to play Blink was Hela, but right now I don't think Hela is as strong. The problem with Hela right now is that because you are not resurrecting multiple 6, sometimes your total output may be a little bit low. Low in the sense that if you have bad spawns, you may still lose the location. Previously, even if you had bad spawns, because of the fact that you are resurrecting 6 cost cards, even if they spawn into locations that you will typically have a hard time competing for, because of the fact that they are 6 costs, you are able to compete. Alright, I mean, it's common sense. Alright, if your opponent has a lane that has 20 plus power, typically you don't want your spawns to go there. But in the old Hela, because you'll be spawning things like Giganto, Infernaut, you're not afraid. You are still able to go for it no matter what. But right now, not so much. So yeah, you already have your strongest reason to play Blink sort of taken away. Now we move into the main card, the new card, Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross. 2/2. Description: when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power. Now, first of all, obviously this card is tailor-made for Thaddues decks. Okay, because it just is. There are very few decks that will only play cards with 10 or more power. I mean, not only play 10 or cards, not only play cards with 10 or more power, that specifically play cards with 10 or more power. And here's the thing, I don't think it's good in certain decks anyway, because certain, I mean, if you are playing in certain decks, you'll be playing cards with 10 or more power, you'll be playing multiple cards with 10 or more power, so chances are you are going to draw them anyway. So you do not need the help of Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross. You really don't. Right? You really don't need Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross to help you with that. Okay? And the second thing is your opponent has to float energy. Now, as I've spoken, we are moving into a meta, that plays multiple small cards. So chances of opponents floating energy honestly isn't high. It isn't high at all. Okay, so that is another knock on Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross. Third thing is your opponent has to float. So it's not even, you don't even get to decide whether the ability triggers. It becomes very, very random. And when you are relying on your opponent, it's just no good. Right? Because you're taking, you do not get to make the decision, you do not get to decide. Your opponents are the one who decide, and that's bad. Now the final thing about Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross is, if this is played, look, if you're looking into certain decks, okay, obviously if this is played on turn 2, it's not so bad. You're helping yourself with the draws, you're taking your deck, blah blah blah. But on if you're going to play, are you going to play this on turn 3? No, because you want to play your Surrey. Are you going to play this on turn 4? No, you want to be slapping things down to grow your Surrey. Do you want to play this on turn 5? No, because you want to be playing things down to grow your Surrey. Are you going to want to play this on turn 6? Obviously not, because there is absolutely no impact. This is just a 2-2. So the question is, if you do not draw this on turn 1 or turn 2, you do not play this by turn 2, is he actually helping you with your Surrey? The answer is no. The answer is no. And the next thing that I want to talk about would be, who is he going to replace? Because we all know that certain decks are very vulnerable to one card, one particular card, which is Shang-Chi. So obviously I want to play armor. I want to play armor to protect my big boys. So do I really want to draw a card? Do I really want to draw a 10 cost card, play it and have it Shang-Chi? Or do I want to play an armor to protect my big boys? I think the answer is actually very, very clear. The answer is actually very, very obvious. Okay, which basically means I honestly do not know where this card goes. Honestly, I honestly think that this card is terrible. I think that this entire week is, not enticing at all. I mean, you have a terrible new card. You have a returning card that is series 4 and losing her place rapidly in the meta. And you have a card that is plain boring and has lost her best deck. So tell me, I honestly do not see this. I do not see the upcoming week being a week that you would be spending keys on. Alright, let's just put it out there. I am very, very confident, 90% confident, alright, I'm raising it. I'm 90% sure that this is a week that's just plain skip. Okay? I am even going as far to predict that the content creators, the paid content creators, are going to be I actually going to come up with some new with air quotes, new Blink decks to play, because Thaddues Thunderbolt Ross is going to suck so bad. Okay, but here's a word of caution: do not get enticed, do not get fooled, because Blink decks are boring. After playing with Blink for a little while, you realize that, oh man, this is just so dang boring. Alright, Happy snapping, guys. Charlie out.